Hi, it's Lisa Cuneo, and welcome to my scrapbook table. The Scraplift Crafternoon group today is lifting Scrapbook 713 from Instagram. There's her layout, and you'll see it again in a moment. Her information will be in the description box below. Today I'm using a bunch of different 49 and Market stuff. Some is left over from the kit I received as part of the scrapbooking cruise that I went on in February. Some is from my stash because I actually ended up with 2 packs of, I think it was everywhere, anywhere, wherever, I'm not sure. Anyway, also there's some Heidi swap material that I purchased on clearance at Joann's. Like, that's where this sailboat paper came from. I thought I might use this tag that I had made for a swap, but I ended up not doing that. These are a bunch of odds and ends, and I use the binoculars and camera from there. Here's my title, View from Here. It is from Color Cast Designs, and these are the 2 photos I'm using. They are from a decade ago, when Dan and I were in Newbern, North Carolina. And sorry about that. I just got a text. I should have turned those sounds off. We were in Newbern, North Carolina, exploring that area, thinking we might move there, and it was lovely, and we seriously considered it, but obviously we're still in Ohio, so that ended up not happening. I cut a bunch of strips of paper, and I edge distressed them with my edge distressor tool from Some Assemblage Required, and here I have glued them down. And some of them I did a couple lines of machine stitching on them because that was in the original as well. You can tell, obviously, I've turned the original 90 degrees to have my strips of paper going horizontally. To break up the horizontal aspect of this, I used a couple pieces of these acetate like film strip things from 49 and Market. I cut this one apart and put half below here and then half coming out from the top of the photo. I needed just a tiny bit more than was there. So there we go. And I also add a blue one there, I think, in a few minutes. So anyway, while we were in Newbern, we decided one evening, it was actually the 4th of July, that we would take a sunset sailboat cruise. It is one of the most memorable things we have ever done on vacation. We've been very blessed to get to travel with our family, with extended family, with our kids, and with just each other. From the time our kids were little, every other year, we tried to get away, even if it was just for a weekend, just the 2 of us. We had family nearby who cared for our kids regularly and allowed us to do that. And it was, it's always been important for us to get away together. And this was an amazing experience. The silence out on that water is just, it's unforgettable. So this was we were on a river, Neuse, Neuse River? I'm not sure. But anyway, I was doing a little bit of journaling about it, and I messed my journaling up. And the first mess up, I thought, oh, that's okay, I can just live with it. But when the second one happened, I decided I couldn't live with it. So in a minute, you'll see that I actually pulled out a different piece of paper. It has like a little notebook edge on it. It's still from the 49 and Market kit. And I redid my journaling on there. And it turned out just fine, even though it wasn't my first choice. Excuse me. You can see that I decided to actually put the title on that photograph. It shows up really nicely on there. And it's just a scenery photograph. There's another one in the layout. So I decided that was the best place for it. I really like how it ended up. And to make my decision, I actually put it there, took a photograph. put it a couple other places and took a photograph, or maybe just one other. Took a photograph and then compared the photos to see which one I liked the best. And I do like it right on top of that photo, so I'm happy with that. Now I'm just adding some layers of labels and things behind the journaling there because I wanted to pull out the coral orangey color that's in the film strip toward the left over to the right. And I chose to focus on that as an accent color because of the sunset in the photograph. The little label I put there says new experiences, and it was for both of us. Neither of us had ever been on a sailboat. And like I said, it was fantastic. This little circle says keep exploring your world, and I'm just popping it up on a bit of fun foam, and that is going to go at the bottom. The adhesive is showing through there on that film strip. I did not make a good choice for adhesive, and so I was covering that up a little bit. There's still one tiny spot, and I may end up putting a few enamel dots on to allow me to hide that one. Then I decide to add a label because I wanted that for the date, which was July 4th, 2015. I opted to add 2 arrows, and at first I was only going to add 1, so I went ahead and I put some fun foam behind it. These are so tiny that it took a while to get the fun foam small enough and get it there. Well, then I decided to do a second one, so I cut some of that out because it was, you don't need to watch that. But yeah, that was hard getting the fun foam behind there. And in hindsight, it would have been just fine to just glue them down on the page. It's not that big of a deal. And let's see. So what else do? I go through the ephemera bits and pieces. And I decided I wanted some of the brighter orange to be on here. And I had one label, actually part of one label. So I cut that in half. I tuck a piece underneath the bottom photo, and an arrow is going to go there. And then I put, there's another piece to the left of, or right of the journaling. And I'm just filling in the gap there with a stamp. I added a camera to it. Over here I'm adding some binoculars since this was a scenic place. And the only other thing I do, as far as I know, I take this little banner and I pop it up there at the top. We're coming to the end here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really happy that you're here. Hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you gained some inspiration from this or from the creator we're lifting, Scrapbook 713, or from the other participants in the Scraplift Crafternoon hop. I hope you'll check them out. There's a playlist below and links to their social media as well. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm really happy that you stopped by. I hope you'll hit the subscribe button. To my regular viewers, thank you so much. I really appreciate you joining me. I love to hear from you, so if you could put a comment in the box below, I would appreciate it. Here's the final layout and some still shots. I hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.